The moment I surrendered, the moment I started having belief, the moment my plan finally came together, the moment I stopped listening to the peanut gallery, the moment I consulted my lawyer and releasing all those expectations and control and finally put that belief back in myself, everything has finally started to fall into place.
I'm Sydney Jocelyn. This is She Rises Through It Season 2. Okay, real talk. A year ago, I was white-knuckling through life, showing up for everyone, completely disappearing from myself. My boys, they were in and out of the hospitals. I was in a job that was slowly shrinking me, performing strength that I absolutely did not have, and still trying to act like none of it was happening. Then I went to Costa Rica, alone, knowing nobody, and something broke open in me. I came home, resigned, walked away from rooms that required me to be less. I chose my family, my faith, and the version of me that had been trying to surface for years. And I built. In the middle of the mess, in the middle of absolutely not having it figured out. That's what this season is. Deeper, bolder, more honest, real conversations about identity, faith, motherhood, and what it actually looks like to stop performing strength you don't have and start living in the power you've already earned. I'm not a medical or mental health professional. Everything here is a lived experience, my lived experience. Please get support if you need it. Asking for help is one of the bravest things you can do. If you're in the messy middle right now, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's go.
Welcome back. It's another episode drop day. That's what I know. Man, last 2 weeks ago, you guys, it was so good with Amanda. So little backstory there. Amanda and I met a year ago. I was vetting her, trying to find retreat teachers, and we've just become such great friends after that. It was the first conversation. We seriously were at a coffee shop for like 3 hours, and we just chatted about life and what was happening, and it was amazing. It was amazing to also be at the start of her journey of figuring out what she was going to do with her life, because she was at that pivotal moment of, what do I do and why? She was burnt out from corporate America, 16 years at Target corporate, and she was at that moment. She was at that point of, I need a change. I don't know what it is. And I became that inspiration for her, which was so and is exciting to hear that, because that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that, I'm breaking that threshold and showing others like, you can do it and it's okay. You can do it and you don't have to worry about doing, you're going to worry about doing it, but taking that risk can be so rewarding and liberating. But yes, there's going to be a lot of decisions and like, what's going to happen. And this first entire year, it wasn't easy. There were so many mistakes I made in my business that I was like, oh, nobody talks about it. And it was just, and it has been insane to see, because the first year, you guys, my biggest mistake. So today's episode, I have no rhyme, no reason. You guys should know this by now. We are just rolling with the punches and we're just going with it. And I'm showing up real, raw, authentic, who I am right now in this moment. So I think it's being led into my first year of business. And I think it's being led into my mistakes and all the things. So let's get into it. My first biggest mistake, probably I would say, like, I didn't have a plan. Do you have to have a plan? No, absolutely not. You do not. I was at that point that I needed the change now. I needed it immediately, and I couldn't just sit there anymore because I wasn't honoring myself. I was depleting myself. I was giving my energy to everybody else. I wasn't present. I wasn't with my family. And that's a huge thing. Like, you don't have to have a plan, but there's that caveat where it's like, maybe you should think it through just a little bit. I had already started thinking like I was going to have an exit plan and find another corporate job or just get out of the very toxic environment I was in. But I didn't know what that looked like. And at that point too, I was also I was pushing for everything and it didn't matter. I wasn't taking the time to reflect and be like, does this actually fill me up and fuel my purpose? Or am I just doing it because I need an exit? I need to be gone. And it started before I made the decision. And then that decision on a Sunday that I was like, I'm just going to build this community. I'm so sick of women tearing each other up. I'm so sick of the competition of why is she getting promoted? And then the rumors and the drama. And it's just like, we need to stop that. And I see that happening. I do see that happening a lot more. I think my algorithm's caught up with what I want to see, which is amazing. And who I'm connecting with. That's a big thing as well, is I'm finally connecting with women that are so like-minded, that want to cheer each other on, that really want to see each other succeed, that aren't going to wish karma upon somebody because they made an error. Like, I had someone do that to me last year, and I took it so hard because I had just started out in figuring out my faith. And then that happened, and I was like, you know what? Accidents happen in life. It's okay. Like, if you're going to wish karma upon me, I'm going to take it with grace. I'm going to take it with grace, and I accept it when it comes because accidents happen. And that's really how somebody should show up. But instead, I was in a community that, again, competition, tearing each other apart, that it was all about the money. So, I mean, when I started creating this, knowing I was sick of it, I was done being the target. I don't want other women to feel like they're a target. I don't think it's fair. I think also, too, we're at a point in life that it's, why? Why are we so petty? Why are we so degrading? We don't need to do that. And we don't know the situation somebody else is in or what's happening on their side or who they're connecting with and the perceptions that they're all having, the conversations that they're having. Like, let's just stop. Let's stop and start cheering each other on. So, yeah, I didn't have a plan. I think that was one of my biggest mistakes, but I knew on that Sunday something needed to change. I mean, if you can see back there where I'm pointing my finger, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a crown sitting there. That crown was given to me at a work Christmas potluck gift exchange party. We were doing the whole dice game. And the person that gave it to me came and stole my gift and made the most mean comment to me about why I deserved that crown. And guess what? I put it on and said, nobody's going to dull my shine. And I still keep it as a reminder of there's going to be petty women out there that are going to try knocking your crown off or give you a crown to tell you you're whatever they want to say. And it's your decision to either take that and run with it or change the narrative. And I changed the narrative. And I think it was a big smack in her face of, oh shit. And you know what? Yeah, because I'm not dealing with it. Not dealing with it. That's what this community is all about, is we're here to support, uplift, and encourage each other. And I want to pave the path forward and show people you can do it too, especially after all the turmoil that has happened in your life. Because sometimes we get stuck in that rut of how do we move forward? How do we push forward? How do we do this? Because look at my past. Your past does not define who you are today. Your past is a story of who you are. It has built strength and resilience and love and kindness and courage. And that is where you change your story and your narrative. You don't take that passive look at all the nasty things that have happened to me. But I did. For the longest time, I think even within my first year of business, I think that would be another mistake. So my first one, not having a plan, but did it work in my favor? Yes. My second one would be still listening to the peanut gallery and what everybody thought I needed to do. I mean, it was consistent. My husband in the beginning was like, you need a job. Like, how are you just going to up and quit your job and do this? And I was like, I don't know. I need to do it. And I know I need to do it. I need to be done. And then I remember calling my brother. He was the second to know. I was sitting in the airport in Atlanta, walking around, and I was like, I need to call and talk to somebody about this. I called my brother because my brother's an entrepreneur. He owns SRS Performance. He is so wonderful at personal training and really getting you back to where you want to be. He helped me when I was postpartum with Brooks, and I know he has amazing clients and has done a lot of amazing work with them. But I remember calling him and I'm like, I haven't told mom this yet. because I was so scared. I was so nervous and so scared of like, what was my mom going to say? And you know what? My mom said the things I knew she was going to say. That, well, what are you going to do? You still need a job. Not everybody has the schedule you have now. Okay.
Okay, I have to tell you something, and I need you to actually hear me. We rose and regrounded in Costa Rica, and now we're taking it to another level. We're going to Crete, Greece. I'm talking ancient villages, the Aegean Sea, olive groves as far as you can see, food that will ruin you for your regular Tuesday nights, and 8 days of movement, workshops, and cultural experiences that will wake something up in you that has been asleep for way too long. This is Rise into Her, the Greece edition. And right now, yes, you are the only ones who know about it. The link is live in the show notes. It is not public yet. My listeners and the collective get first access. So what if August 2027 was the trip that shifted everything? The one you looked back on and said, that's when everything changed. Save your spot today for just $500. 6 and 12-month payment plans are available. We made it flexible, intentionally, and on purpose. So if your heart just jumped a little, that's your answer. Link is in the show notes. I cannot wait to see you and welcome you in Crete. Okay, let's get into today's episode.
So I listened to it and I allowed myself to like feel all the feels of like, I'm failing. I'm not doing good enough. And then it was getting in with my coaches and getting in with figuring out where I was going to teach yoga and who I was vetting. It was a very uncomfortable phase. And I was listening and being guided by everybody else versus really tuning into my purpose. And that was another major mistake. It backtracked me. It allowed me to, what did it all? It didn't honor me. Like I was in this phase of like trying to slow down, but I didn't slow down long enough to actually like listen to what I needed. And that was a major mistake. I ended up getting my yoga teaching license certification online because I was told by a business that they recommend doing it online and then they'll hire you on and teach you exactly how they want to. And it didn't click with me. I was like, oh, I'm still going to get the training. I'm still going to be able to do what I want to do. But it didn't click to me that it was about how they wanted you to teach at their studio, which should have. It's, hey, you're jumping into another business that they're only looking out for themselves. And it is what it is. And then I tried jumping in and being like, okay, if this isn't going to work because, I'm going to spend so much time, but I have to have so many people to get a certain amount. Like, that's a little strange. I'm like, maybe I just invest in like renting a studio and see how it goes. Well, my first one was filled because it was free. And my first time I biffed. And there were a lot of judgmental people in there. A lot. And you think the yoga community is not judgmental? The yoga community can be judgmental, just like any other community. And this community was judgmental. Like, I got to hear a lot, and I was like, oh, goodness. Okay. And I ended up leaving the place because I was like, well, then maybe I'll teach with the school. And I was trying to figure that out. And then I was talking with another studio that like understood me, whatever. It doesn't matter. But I just listened to everybody's opinions and thoughts and their negative karma wishing upon me. And I was like, oh my gosh, how did I do that? Because I was still in the fight or flight mode. I was still working through it and figuring it out. And then, obviously we know what happened in January. I decided to go backwards. That was the pivotal moment that cracked the box wide open to get me completely out of that structured box we've always been told to be in and to listen to everyone's opinions. And that was needed where I'm at. I needed it. I needed every part of it. And sometimes that's what happens in a business is you're going to pivot a lot. You're going to realize something. You're going to realize, like, why did I do it this way? Shouldn't I have done it that way? And you're just going to keep rolling with the punches and see what happens. And sometimes you're going to have that low point that's going to be like, you just messed up. You need to flip back and go and find your purpose. So not having a plan, listening to the peanut gallery because it gets loud when you finally take a risk, not consulting a lawyer. There are so many business things that they don't talk about that you should do when you start a business. I went in and I applied through the Secretary of State, got it all set up properly. Yes, I know we all love AI. We all use AI, but AI is not a lawyer. So how I set up my business entities, I set up properly. I did set them up properly. However, I set it up under the wrong name that I wanted, which is fine. And then also I opened up DBAs, which didn't make sense for me to have them. On top of it, I didn't consult a lawyer to make sure like everything was set up properly, how much I was investing in my business to get it up and running, like the microphones, my laptop, my phone. Like, you got to think about all of these things as well that are part of upgrading so you can actually have the bandwidth to be able to build things. And I do a lot of work on my laptop and on my phone, from content creation to building websites. I mean, building out brand strategies and brand kits, like it's all housed on this computer, the exact one I'm recording on. I'm not recording on a camera. I'm recording on a laptop. So not consulting the lawyer and getting the proper legal advice. On top of it, when I finally consulted the lawyer, I had just listened to the peanut gallery, my CPA, telling me I needed 2 business entities set up. And that was how I could operate everything under one umbrella, even though they would be separate umbrellas, they would be separate LLCs. After I consulted the lawyer, she's like, no, absolutely not. You can have one business entity and you can operate everything underneath, but you have to do it a proper way. So not consulting a lawyer on top of listening to a peanut gallery, on top of not having a plan. Those are 3, right? If you need a good lawyer, definitely research in your area of what I would do, small business if you're a small business or entrepreneur, whatever it might be, or even connections. You may not know who in your community has a really good small business lawyer, and know that, yes, that's another investment that you need. That is a professional service that you need. And I highly suggest you do it because I'm not a lawyer. I will not give you legal advice. I will not give you medical or mental health advice. I will give you my lived experience, and I will advise you always to utilize your resources and don't use AI. Big mistake. Not a big mistake. There are some things you're like, oh, okay. So not having a lawyer, and I love my lawyer. We talk now. One, she's also my friend's mom. I knew she was a lawyer, but I didn't think about it. And then she went on retreat in Costa Rica with me. And I was like, oh yeah, I need you. So she's in the process of getting everything set up properly for me. And my Sydney Jocelyn LLC is proper. And I did have to consult back with the CPA to make sure like everything would coincide. And after speaking with them, they're like, it's fine. It's completely fine. I'm like, oh, perfect. Okay. I'm like, then why did they tell me something else? And basically her advice was to make their job easier. I'm like, oh, well, that's not what I want. I want it to be figured out of like how to make it easy for me in marketing and branding myself to then, yeah, you guys go figure it out on your side. You have more difficult clients than a small business entrepreneur. I digress on that.
You know the next version of you exists. You can feel her. You just can't quite get to her from where you're standing right now. That's exactly why I build these retreats. They're not a vacation. They're an environment specifically designed to get you out of your own way. Join an upcoming retreat or build something custom for your team, your company, or your people. Head to sydneyjocelyn.com or find everything in the show notes.
So, number 1, not having a plan. Number 2, listening to the peanut gallery. Number 3, not consulting a lawyer. Number 4, not having a defined purpose. Your first year, you're going to take that risk, right? You're going to be like, I'm doing this. We're doing it. Maybe you had a plan and it was a better exit plan than me. However, as a mom, living in fight or flight mode for the last 2.5, 3 years, and finally having that breakthrough that you just needed to make a change and you needed to do it now because you were losing yourself, you may not know your purpose. You may have ideas, you may think through them, but you may pivot. And it's in those pivotal moments that you start finding your purpose more. So if you look back at a year ago, my logo was wrong. The way I was articulating things were wrong. The way I wanted things to come across, because I was still trying to perform to how everybody wanted to see me versus showing who I truly am and shining my light through. And my purpose continued to change and evolve. I was offering everything a la carte on being a marketing and brand strategist because I needed clients. I needed to make money for my family. And it wasn't honoring anything. All it was doing was hustling and grinding that I said I wasn't doing, but I still was. And I didn't realize it until January. Until January smacked me straight in the face saying, And God said, you need to listen to yourself finally. And you need to finally know what you're doing. So in January, that's when I started redoing everything intentionally. My logo had already been redone before Costa Rica. I had already redone my website. I had started shifting how things were looking and what I wanted to say and how I was showing up. And I truly started getting more aligned on what I offer and how my entire ecosystem comes together. So that's a big mistake. I mean, am I mad at myself? No, because that's how my business started, on a whim, no plan. But not having a purpose and reason why can also take it a little bit longer for things to shape up and look good for you. And that was a big one, because once I found my purpose, I started to surrender. I surrendered to God. I've been surrendering so much to Him, which is the hardest thing, because you're finally releasing control of what you need to do and how it needs to happen, because your higher power already has a plan and story written out for you. So you just surrender, and whatever's meant to be is going to come. And you still continue to do the steps that you need to do in networking and vetting and marketing yourself. But you don't take on every client anymore. You listen to yourself. You listen to your gut. You pray to God and ask, is this the right one? And you just surrender. And it's the hardest thing. The moment you find that purpose and you surrender, I mean, my eyes have changed so much, and the beauty continues to evolve. The story continues to evolve, and the clients continue to come in a different way than I had ever expected. So finding your purpose, a big mistake. And then, the fifth one, having no expectations. I think that would be my number 5 mistake. I had all these expectations of how it was going to happen. Oh, I have a 6th one. I figured it out, guys. I'm going to give you a 6th. A bonus. But, having no expectations, you're going to have goals, you're going to have a vision, you're going to have this is what I need to do, but also knowing that that expectation can change and you have to release that control. I think it just goes back into number 4 mistake of your purpose. Find your purpose, release your control, surrender, have no expectations. They coincide, right? And it's sucks. Knowing that you have to release the expectation and that control sucks. And it's a very hard thing to do. It is easier said than done. It is every day noting that I can't control this. We'll see what happens. I mean, I talked about it. I did not talk about it. I did it in a reel that I have not posted yet. But I had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and I prayed to God before going in that He would give me the words that I needed to be able to, shine through in this meeting of who I am and showing up truly and authentic as myself. And I was so mad at myself afterwards. I beat myself up and I was like, why did I say this? Why did I say that? Why? Literally within 2 minutes, my brain was like, stop. You had just prayed to God, asking for the words that you needed, and you said what you needed to say. And from there, it's in His hands. You cannot control it. You said what you needed to say. You showed up true and authentic to yourself. So embrace that, and embrace that the Holy Spirit and God gave you everything you needed. Everything you needed. So releasing those expectations are hard. That control is hard. And you guys, I had a bonus. And like where my mom brain just went out the window. Okay, my mom brain worked. So the top 5, having no plan, listening to the peanut gallery, not consulting a lawyer, not having a defined purpose, not releasing the expectations. You need to release the expectations and release the control.
Okay, you know you've been playing small. You feel it every time you show up online. Every time someone asks what you do, and your answer doesn't even sound like you anymore. The truth, your brand just hasn't caught up to who you actually are. That is the work I do. We find the truth beneath your brand and build something that finally reflects you. It is time to stop shrinking. Book the call at SydneyJocelyn.com. Link is in the show notes.
And then your bonus. This is like the most pivotal one. And that's why I'm like, oh, I need to share this. Should have been my number one, but it is your bonus. Not believing in yourself. Not believing in yourself and devaluing yourself. The entire first year, I was in my head all the time. I thought I was failing. I thought I wasn't doing good enough. I thought I wasn't showing up the right way. I was worried of why aren't things moving faster than they needed to be. I was thinking, wow, I'm building this business and it's not working. But it was just my old beliefs creeping up on me that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't valuable, that I wasn't worthy. And it diminished my first year. I mean, I also came out of a very toxic environment that say they praise women. And there was one that truly advocated for, praising women and respecting women. But it was a male-dominated industry. So they diminished women, sexualized them, told them to basically be seen and not heard, that they should just stay in their lane, that they don't make the money because they're not a project manager. I mean, yeah, that's what I came from. And that toxicity, on top of all of my past that we talked about, killed me and had my brain thinking, I can't do this. And I didn't believe in myself. Where I tried going backwards. I took another job. I was like, this is going to help with the math problem for our family. On top of it, I can work on building my business still and just like really fine tune what I need. But I didn't do that. It killed me more. It diminished me more. It told me, why would you sit in an office for 40 hours a week to do 10 hours of work and you have 30 additional hours that you could be investing in doing your own business? Like, why? So yeah, there was a lot of that not belief in devaluing myself and trying to, cut a deal on a brand strategist or a marketing strategist just to get the client. So devaluing your worth and how much it actually takes for you to do what you're doing. I mean, it all coincides. And when you start doing that, you're going to start and always continue to have clients that don't match where you're at. You're going to drain yourself even more and push yourself further down. I mean, that's not good. Like, why? So you need to have belief in yourself and you need to continue to remind yourself every day. If you look back there, I have a canvas that says, in a field of roses, she is a wildflower. That is a reminder that I can do it, that I can break through the box, that I can take the risks. Writing on your bathroom mirror, reminding yourself that you are worthy, you are enough, you are loved, you can do this. You are attracting the right clients. Affirmations. Telling yourself that God provided me the words that I needed. And if this client is meant to be, they're going to be in my circle. And the moment I surrendered, the moment I started having belief, The moment my plan finally came together, the moment I stopped listening to the peanut gallery, the moment I consulted my lawyer and releasing all those expectations and control and finally put that belief back in myself, everything has finally started to fall into place. The retreat that is just launching on July 7th, and it's only 4 weeks of it being launched to our community and already having it half full. From that to all of the new clients that I'm meeting and having 3-hour coffee meetings to learn about them on their one-to-one brand strategy, to be able to provide them a proposal and a quote of what I can do and help them in their business. That doesn't happen when you don't follow these 5 mistakes. My 5 mistakes were my biggest things that I finally made a change, and look what has happened. So if you are at that moment, you are building your dream, your purpose, whatever that vision might be, take the risk. Take the risk. Hopefully you take my 5 mistakes plus my bonus and implement them. Implement it in a way that works for you and where you're at. I'm not going to tell you I do it perfectly, because I don't. Nobody does. We all make mistakes, and guess what? Those pivots and those mistakes are what helps us continue to break the ceiling, break through the box, taking that risk. And that moment you feel like you're going to give up and throw the towel in, do not. Do not. That is the moment you need to sit there. You need to push through the hard stuff to be able to get to the other side. That is what it takes. So, recap. I just want to thank you guys first off for being here today. I do have to get to an oil change. That's why I have to cut this short, because life and business, baby. But the 5, having no plan, building your business. Granted, if you're anything like me, maybe that no plan is exactly what you need to finally find your purpose. Listening to the peanut gallery. That's number 2. Stop listening to them. Their opinions don't matter. None of it. So push through it. Not consulting a lawyer. Anything that's business related, consult a lawyer and have a lawyer on backup. 4, not having a defined purpose. Why are you doing what you're doing? When you come to that core and your heart of why you're doing what you're doing, so much can unfold for you. 5, finally releasing the expectations of what you need to be doing, how you need to be doing it, or how it's going to evolve. When you release that control and those expectations and surrender, you have no idea what is about to happen. And it is so miraculous. 2 bonuses. 1, not believing in yourself. You need to believe in yourself to be able to do it. That belief comes from you. That belief comes from praying to God and finally recognizing that He made you the way that He did and you're on His path. Follow it. Go with it. Lead with it. I totally forgot number 7 because I didn't write it down. You guys, I got sticky notes telling me because I had to pause this. Oh, nope, devaluing. I don't know. Number 7's in here. Just go back 30 seconds. I got to get out of here. I got to get to my oil change. I just want to thank you guys for showing up today, for listening to this podcast, for me being real, raw, authentic to who I am and not scripting anymore. It feels good. It feels good. And if you have a podcast episode or you have somebody that you're like, I want them on this podcast, shoot me an email. I answer everyone. I'm here for you throughout it. I want to connect with you because I've been there. I'm doing it, and I'm going to continue, and I'm going to be here for you. So until next time, and always remember, we do not rise through it alone. We rise through it together. Thanks, loves.
That's a wrap on today's episode. If something hit you, share it, screenshot it, send it to a girlfriend who needs to hear it. And if you're carrying something heavy right now and you need someone to stand in prayer with you, send it to hello@sydneyjocelyn.com. I mean that. I would be truly honored to pray over you. You are not in the messy middle alone. You are seen, you are building, and you are closer than you think. Now go live it. I'll see you next time.